As we're styling our beautiful homes and trying to achieve that look that we really want in our spaces, sometimes you have to stop and wonder, why is it not looking like or turning out as what you thought it actually would? Now, you might be making one of these common mistakes that I will be discussing today so that you can finally fix them and achieve that beautiful serene oasis that you are trying to create. Anyway, guys, Faazati Ali here, interior designer, and without wasting any time, why don't we dive right into the video? Now, a common mistake a lot of people make when styling their homes is impulse buying. Now, sometimes we have furniture stores coming up with a lot of sales, 70% off, 50% off. Buy now, you only have 2 days to go, and everybody is rushing to the stores, and you find probably a sofa or a dining set or something, and they're telling you it's half the price now. You got a few hours and the sale is going to be over, and you're just like, okay, I gotta get it. No, you don't have to get it. Don't fall for it, because sometimes impulse buying like this is when you get something and you actually go home with it, and maybe you didn't even think about size. You just bought in the rush of that time. So think about your style first before going out to buy furniture pieces. Your design style is very important, and then if possible, please create a mood board to let you know exactly what pieces you want and to put in your space. So this way, when you go out there to shop, you will be looking for specific items rather than just buying randomly. The problem with buying randomly is out there we have so many different types of unique, beautiful pieces, but what you need to realize is not every piece is going to work in your home. It might be a beautiful coffee table, but maybe it doesn't work with your space. Maybe it's completely different from the rest of your style. Maybe it's just not going to tie together with everything else that is already in the room. So you have to know exactly what you're looking for. So please, impulse buying, please just avoid it. Buy things that you actually need. And if there's offers, then if you have a mood board, the mood board will guide you such that you're able to actually look for a sofa that's in your mood board, something that's close to it, and then okay, fine, you can buy that. And of course, think about scale. Impulse buying can also cause you to buy something that's either too big or too small for your space, because you did not think in that moment. You were just trying to get this good offer. So think about scale, proportion, think about your style, create a mood board for going out there to buy items. This is the best way to avoid making mistakes that will actually cost you more money, because if you buy the wrong item, guess what that means? You're still going to need to buy something else in the future because it's not going to work with your space. We can all agree wallpaper is great. It adds that focal point in your space. You can use it on your feature wall. But a mistake a lot of people make sometimes is having way too much wallpaper in a room. So how is it too much? Is when you have wallpaper on all your four walls, and this wallpaper is super patterned or bold colored, and it's just too much for this space at this point. You want to ensure when you're using wallpaper, just pick a feature wall or a focal wall in this space and use it on that particular space. If it's a living room area, this could be your TV wall. It could be at the back of your sofa wall. In your bedroom, you can have it on your headboard wall. Pick a nice, beautiful, unique wallpaper. This will look absolutely amazing. If you put it on all your four walls and it has bold color and bold patterns, it's just not going to give anymore. It's going to be too much for the space. It's going to be overwhelming, and the space will not even feel comfortable anymore. So avoid that. And also, guys, when you are selecting wallpapers, please ensure that you're picking nice wallpapers, nice, unique, nice prints on your wallpapers. What I've seen sometimes in spaces is very funny looking wallpaper. They look like some weird 3D prints, or they just have some very funny weird patterns that, like, you'd rather avoid wallpaper. If that's all you got, if you went to a store to look for wallpaper and those were your options, just you don't have to have the wallpaper. And sure, if you're actually gonna go for a wallpaper, then pick something really nice, please. This will work a whole lot better, and it will actually create the feature you're trying to create instead of actually ruining the look of your space. Something else you want to think about is when you're adding bold colors into this space. Of course, a lot of times our backgrounds, our walls, and most of our tones in a space are usually neutral colors, whites and grays and all that. So you can bring in, of course, accent colors, and accent colors are amazing. This is a great move, but you also want to think about if you're going to have it in different pieces. So you have accent colors on your chairs, on your accent chairs, or maybe on your throw pillows, on your throw blanket, or on one of your walls, then make sure you're working with different tones of this particular accent color that you're choosing to go for, instead of keeping it one bland hue of the same exact tone. This can make it a bit boring and not really give it that interest. So to create that depth of interest, then kindly just make sure you are playing around with different tones of the accent color. Now you finish setting up your home, your furniture looks great, your lighting looks great, but something ruins the entire look. And this can be exposed cables. Now you completely want to avoid having exposed wires in your spaces. This really cheapens the look of our space and can completely ruin the final look of your home. When it comes to your TV area, of course, the best thing is to have sockets placed on the wall such that you do not have to deal with hanging wires at all. So if you're building a home, please ensure that you have a socket placed right there for the TV on the wall. If your sockets are low and you want to place your TV on the wall, then you're going to have to get that trunk where your wires can pass through, your cables and so on, so that they're hiding. It's a better look than having exposed wires. Totally agree. But I'm not a big fan of it. I would say if you don't have a socket on the wall, just go ahead and put your TV on the cabinet. I feel like this gives a more clean and better look. On top of that, if you have laptops, PCs and wires are hanging everywhere, try to hide them interestingly, maybe using accessories. You can use a vase of flowers. Just find a way to keep this out of sight to still give your home a much better look. Of course, it will not only look more aesthetic, but at the same time give it a more expensive look. Another mistake commonly made that I want you to completely avoid is having matching furniture sets. And yes, I've talked about this in multiple videos and I will repeat it today once again. Guys, when you are styling your spaces, please keep it interesting. And the way to do this is to not have matching furniture sets. Don't go and buy a sofa that comes with its own two-seaters and comes with a coffee table. And in your bedroom area, don't go for a bed that comes with its dressers and side tables and they all look similar, and it's not interesting. This is something that people used to do back in the days, but if you want a more interesting look, a more aesthetic space, something that actually looks like it was well styled, it's to mix and match your pieces. Now, if it's your living room area, go for a nice sofa, then bring in some bold colored or unique design on your accent chairs. You can also pair this up with a bench or ottomans. This looks absolutely beautiful. When it comes to your bedroom area, your headboard does not have to look the same as your side tables. Your side tables can have a completely different material going on. Mix and match. It could be metallic and your headboard can have leather on it. This looks a whole lot better and creates a lot more interest. When it comes to your dining tables with matching chairs are the most old-fashioned thing, I would say. So please keep it interesting in this area as well. You can have a woody dining table, but when it comes to your chairs, you can keep them in leather. You can keep them in some sort of beautiful fabric. You can play around with the colors. You don't have to have all matching dining chairs as well. You can have a bench on one side, dining chairs on the other side. At the same time, you can play around with materials on your chairs such that you have maybe 2 chairs with different fabric and the rest in a particular color. And this just creates a lot more interest, looks well thought out, and will give your home that beautiful look that you're trying to achieve. Now, curtains are such an important part of our interiors, and choosing the wrong ones can actually ruin the look of your home. So the first thing you want to think about when you think curtains is what style you're going for. I would totally advise to go for neutral colors, something very muted down, toned down, simple, maybe textured. Avoid a lot of patterns on them and so on. So what to avoid when it comes to curtains? Bold colors. I feel like if you're creating a space, you can keep your bold colors on things that you can easily change, such as your pillows, maybe your throw blankets, the easy stuff that you can easily change out even with seasons and so on. I don't think we go about taking down curtains in our spaces all the time. It's a very once in a while type of thing. So go for something neutral, something textured. This will look absolutely amazing in the space. It will tie together well and it will tone down just like the rest of the background in a particular room. On the other hand, completely avoid super pattern curtains or something with a lot of bold images, or maybe flowers or some geometrics. Please, there'll be a bit of overwhelming for a space. It depends. Maybe if your space is super minimalist and everything is super muted and you want your curtains to be the bold point in this particular space, then maybe you can bring in a bit of patterns. But all in all, I would say let's just avoid a lot of patterns and so on. As well, think about when you're hanging your curtains, they have to be hung near the ceiling. Now, this is the mistake I've talked about so many times as well, but this is something you have to think about. So it doesn't matter if your windows are so much shorter compared to your ceiling. If you hang your curtains right above a short window, then your home is not going to look great. It's going to make this home look smaller. It's going to make it look cheap. And those are all the things we're trying to avoid if we're trying to style our spaces. So hang it near the ceiling. I love that we have gypsum curves to hide the top of our curtains. This looks so seamless and neat. I wish everybody who was building homes right now, developers, if you're watching and you're building apartments, give us curves or give us at least curtain boxes. This is just a great way to hide those curtain rods, and it will give your home a much better look. And of course, your curtains have to go ceiling to floor. Let's also avoid this thing where we have short curtains hanging somewhere on the wall or just right up to the height of your window. This also does not look great at all. And of course, guys, I have done a whole video talking about the do's and don'ts of hanging curtains, and you can learn a lot from it. So I'm going to link it up here and in the description box below. Now, my last point will quickly touch on appropriate sizes and placement of different items that we bring into our spaces. The first thing will be coffee table. A mistake people make is having a coffee table that is way too small for a space. Now, this coffee table is sitting alone in the middle of the room and it looks kind of lost because it's not connecting to any of the items or the chairs sitting around it. So you want to ensure that you're bringing in appropriate size coffee tables, and when it comes to height of a coffee table, ensure that it's in line with the height of the sitting cushion of your sofa. Now this works completely great. So if you have a coffee table that is too small, how do we fix this? Now the best way is to bring in another coffee table. Maybe create a nest of tables. If you have round tables, you can bring one more, two more, to now create that appropriate look in terms of size. If you have a rectangular table, same thing, just bring in another table, maybe similar, maybe taller. This will create a more interesting look. Create nests, and of course this will look great. When it comes to art placement, there's this thing when people go for art that is way too small and hang them way too high. So artwork that is hung way too high just looks it's not a great look. It looks lost, it's lonely. Please take it down. Let's please go for large artwork. I find this to look a whole lot better, to really give that statement in a home and to just look absolutely beautiful. So go for really large pieces. If you go for small ones, then create a gallery wall with them. Please avoid having just one artwork sitting awkwardly, and even worse, near the ceiling. Please, guys. Something else, go for appropriate size rugs. This is very important. When it comes to your living room area, a mistake people make is going for something that is either too small or too big. Too small, where it's sitting alone in the center of the room and only the coffee table gets to sit on it. This looks way too small. It looks like an island. It's floating and it's disconnecting from the rest of the items in the space. Go for something that at least has the front legs of your sofas, your accent chair, and so on sitting on it. This looks a whole lot better. Too big is when you also have a carpet that is going wall to wall. This is not a look that we're going for. Just have the front legs or a bit of your furniture pieces sitting on it. It doesn't have to be wall to wall. When it comes to your bedroom area, same thing. Pick appropriate size rugs for the different size of beds that you'll be putting into your spaces. So yes, guys, once you do all this, you'll definitely be on your way to creating that beautiful home that you are trying to achieve. So those are some of the most common mistakes a lot of people make when it comes to styling their spaces. I hope you guys got to learn something. We'll be able to fix some of these mistakes if you've made any of them, and we'll be on your way to achieving that beautiful oasis you're trying to create in your home. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again, and kindly subscribe. Feel free to like, comment, and share as well. I'll be truly grateful. And of course, see you guys next week, inshallah, with another video. Love you guys so much. Bye bye.